Hey everyone, I'm Sandi Ballard, the Badass Business Coach, and I'm here today for another Monday motivation. Yes, it's Monday, and I'm here to give you some motivation. Thanks for being here, for sharing this podcast. No more excuses with others. And yes, I am reminding you once again, I am a DISC certified coach, which means I'm personality and communication specialist. I've spoken at conferences all over the United States and facilitated hundreds of team building workshops. And if you run a department or have a company with 10 to 50 employees, let me know. I'd love to discuss doing that with you. For team building, it's a great way to communicate more effectively, to find new ways to work more productively and have fun as well. Create that connectivity that we've lost a little bit of because of the pandemic, right? So, you know, contact me, Sandi at sandiballard.com. And today, I just wanted to recap. I've been talking a lot about inspiration and motivation. And, it's what helps you get things done, short term and long term. There's so many things that, about running a business or being a leader that can help you and can also hurt you personally as well as professionally. Motivation and inspiration can obviously help both, but if you can't find either of them, it does hurt, doesn't it? Right? Well, a quick rundown. I bet you can name more things, can't we always? More things that can hurt a business or can hurt you personally or professionally than can help. Stress, anxiety, the lack of knowing how, understanding how to find time, perhaps hiring or keeping staff. And yes, money. Ugh. Yes, the root to all hell, right? It's so easy to focus on what you don't have or think you'll never get instead of what you do have and can achieve. I mean, we do this all the time. I've done it, with the weather out here living in California. When the weather was so bad, I complained. When the weather's shitty, don't we all complain? Instead of just letting the weather do its thing, we're going to bitch about it. And when sales are down or a client cancels or you get 25 no's in a row, it's so easy to get down on yourself. And someone asks, how's business? Your reply might be negative, or you lie just so you don't think, people don't feel like you're failing, right? It hurts. It hurts to answer negatively. It hurts to answer kind of with a lie, right? When you aren't sure how to do something, how to keep up and feel like you just feel like you're drowning and I'll never catch up. It's easy to be stressed out, overwhelmed, and be short or snarky or bitchy with friends, staff, whoever is standing in front of you, instead of figuring out who to ask for help, how to ask for help, or even just talk it out, share with someone. If you don't feel like any of your friends or family can handle that kind of conversation, that's why it's so important to have a coach or a mentor or both. And many of my clients actually have therapists as well. When I first started my business, I was 24 years old, I was pregnant, and honestly, I had no fucking clue what I was doing. I mean, I was very well educated. I was educated in my field. I had worked in the industry, so I knew all the software I needed. I was smart enough to know I'm not doing my taxes on my own. And, I knew how to do my job, but I didn't know much about getting new clients really, besides the few I had, and to just grow business in general, except for if I get more clients, more income, that'll grow my business, right? Growth by numbers, growth by products, growth by services you offer, growth by increasing income. Those are all true, but then again, growth can hurt if you're not prepared. I have a client I recently talked with, it was a couple of weeks ago, about reducing the number of products he sells. He's been successful for so many years and, off and on, depending on what's going on. However, he keeps reinvesting his profits into the business and it's hurting. Income is down. He has no real bottom line. Reinvesting can be great for growth. However, when you're doing it incorrectly to create more products, instead of taking only a portion of it or a percentage of it and earning a salary, paying yourself, that could hurt. So I suggested to him what my financial advisor suggested me to years ago with my first business. Go back to when you were making money. Go back to the beginning, right? I listened to my financial advisor. It stung, but it didn't hurt because the result was I ended up making money. Yes, I was able to pay myself and I finally felt successful. So that's what I suggested to him. First off, I said, stop creating, you know, stop creating the new things. Keep those ideas, but just hold on to them for now. And secondly, reduce the number of products he's offering and producing. So even if he has inventory, hold on to them, offer them for a limited time, create urgency, have holiday or seasonal sales, but just stop and reduce, right? So he's in the process of adjusting that, going back to when he started, going back to when he was making money, and he's thinking through how he's going to offer just 4 products, including his signature products. And then he and I will get together and create the plan for sort of a future offering and anything new, how to kind of leak that out and tweak it and make sure there's a plan, right? A plan. There's business plans, there's marketing plans, there's all kinds of plans. You need a plan to achieve your goals, right? His mind won't stop. And that's great, except it was hurting him to continue to create. It was hurting him mentally and financially. My mentor uses the phrase addition by subtraction all the time. And you can use that in so many ways. Like another client of mine who wasn't losing money that she knew of at the time, but she saw that she wasn't, although she was increasing her patient load, her income really wasn't increasing. She's like, something's going on. She had some staffing challenges, sort of a revolving door in one department, and the other department was just plain overworked. And she herself was confused, stressed out, and it was hurting. So after brainstorming, I created an activity for all her staff to do. So what they did is they wrote down on those giant Post-it note sheets of paper what a day in their life at work looked like. Just it didn't have to be every little bitty thing, but what's the gist of, what you do all day? And then I went in and talked with the managers and then anyone else's sheet that looked a little different than what their job description was. And the result, the big one was one manager, as much as she was loved by her team, had her mind and heart on another part of the company. She was interested in another part. I asked her one simple question. If you could do anything in the company, what would it be? She quickly responded. So after that, I went and talked with my client, the owner of the company, and we moved her to a different department. And then we moved a couple other people around. But after that one discussion, yes, in less than a year, that former department manager found over $50,000 in profit. It was just going out the door. And it's kept increasing since then. And she was also less stressed, able to work fewer hours, which was sort of a goal for her as well. After that activity, like I said, we moved a few people around and a couple people were let go. Although there were fewer staff, the energy and the dynamic of the office was so much better. Addition by subtraction. Although there were different staff or fewer staff, people's attitudes were better. They were working stronger together. They had a tighter sense of community. And we had created a more cohesive team, increased their productivity, which also increased profit on top of that found $50,000. So think about what you do or what the company offers that you work for. Really look around. Take note of what's increased and what hasn't. What stresses you out and what do you think is hurting you or the company? What can you do? Do you know? Here's a few things to make note of. Are you a seasonal company? Have you increased your services or offers over the years or even recently? Maybe by demand, maybe by desperation. Think about when did sales start to go flat or decrease? Where in your business or job do you have the most fun or enjoyment? And what gives you the most stress and grief? What's hurting? And yes, that's where myself or a coach comes in and helps. Because if you can't figure out, or you're just ready to throw in the towel, that is what can really hurt you. So let's take a look at that. Contact me, Sandi with an I, Sandi@sandiballard.com. Direct message me, find me. I'm everywhere, right? Owning a business or running a business doesn't have to suck. It's going to be a lot of work, but it doesn't have to suck. So let me help you find someone to help you. Let's look at what's going on, what's helping, and most of all, what's hurting, and how we can maybe reduce or add by reduction, right? Maybe we can reduce and go back to when you were making money, go back to the beginning, right? Let somebody or myself help you grow in the right direction. I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.